More than 90% of car owners destroy their cars without knowing it. These are the mistakes that shorten the life of your automatic car, and you're probably doing them right now. These small habits you do could be causing more damage than you know. Today, we're exposing 14 stupid mistakes that are slowly killing your automatic car. Just doing one could be a $4,000 repair bill before you know it. Mistake number 14. Revving the engine in park. Some drivers press the gas before shifting. They think it warms the engine faster or helps blow out the system. They believe it wakes the car up. But the truth, it does more harm than good. When you rev in park, the engine spins freely. The transmission isn't engaged yet. Once you shift into drive, all that stored energy hits the system instantly. Clutch packs slam together, and internal gears absorb the sudden force. Transmission mounts feel the jolt. Daily repetition causes uneven wear and rough shifting. Fluid heats up faster than designed. Components degrade silently, but repair costs pile up. Cold engines make it even worse, especially during morning startups. Thick, sluggish fluid can't protect moving parts properly. Shock loads are harsher, and clutches, gears, and mounts wear prematurely. Patience is key. Let the engine warm naturally, then drive gently. Start calmly, shift smoothly, and accelerate lightly for the first few minutes. Revving in park is a shortcut to costly repairs. Smooth starts protect your transmission and extend your car's life. But sometimes the mistake isn't rushing. It's waiting too long for something that no longer needs it. Before we move on, take a second to hit the like button and subscribe. Because if this mistake caught you off guard, the ones coming up next are habits you're probably making right now without even realizing it. Mistake number 13. Warming the car for too long. Some drivers let their cars idle for up to 10 minutes like it's a sacred ritual. They sit, sip coffee, scroll phones, thinking the engine needs a full warm-up. You're actually doing more harm than good. Modern cars don't buy into this narrative. Excessive idling wastes fuel, produces extra carbon, and quietly stresses your engine. In reality, 60 seconds is enough on most days. In freezing mornings, 2 minutes helps fluid circulate and the system stabilize. That's all it takes. Use that time wisely. Buckle your seat belt. Adjust mirrors, set navigation, or cue your music. By the time you finish, your car is ready to roll. Modern engines warm up faster while driving gently. Many vehicles have a blue temperature light. Wait until it disappears before pressing hard. Idle too long, and fuel burns needlessly. Carbon deposits form, reducing efficiency and long-term engine life. The takeaway: short, smart pauses beat long rituals. Start the car, settle in, then drive gently. Your engine, transmission, and wallet all thank you. Mistake number 12. Not checking your oil level regularly. This one is so simple it almost hurts to talk about. Checking your oil takes less than 2 minutes and costs nothing. But most drivers go months, sometimes years, without ever pulling that dipstick. Here's why that's a problem. Oil doesn't just disappear. It burns off slowly, leaks through worn seals, and breaks down over time. By the time your low oil warning light comes on, you may have already been running the engine dangerously low for weeks. And running low oil doesn't just cause wear, it can seize an engine completely. I've seen engines destroyed not because drivers skipped oil changes, simply because they never topped it off between changes. The fix is free. Pop the hood once a month, pull the dipstick, wipe it clean, reinsert it, and check the level. If it's below the minimum line, add the correct oil immediately. A $5 quart of oil can save you a $4,000 engine replacement. If you think that's bad, this next mistake is about your car's air circulation. Mistake number 11. Using the recirculation button incorrectly. That small button with a circular arrow on your dashboard is one of the least understood controls in any car. Most drivers either ignore it completely or leave it in one position all year long, and both are mistakes. Here's how it actually works. In hot weather, pressing recirculation closes off outside air and keeps the already cooled cabin air cycling through the system. Your AC compressor doesn't have to fight against 95 degrees air coming in from outside. It works less, cools faster, and lasts longer. Compressor replacements run anywhere from $800 to $1,500 in most U.S. vehicles. All because drivers force the system to work twice as hard for years. But here's the other side of it. Leaving recirculation on in cold or humid conditions is just as bad. It traps moisture inside the cabin, fogs up your windows, and makes your defroster nearly useless. The rule is straightforward. Hot outside, use recirculation. Cold, rainy, or foggy, switch to fresh air. That one button used correctly extends your AC system's life significantly. And if you're ignoring that button, chances are you're ignoring something else on your dashboard, too. Mistake number 10. Ignoring the check engine light. The check engine light comes on and most drivers do one of two things. They panic or they ignore it. Ignoring it is almost always the more expensive choice. That light is connected to dozens of sensors throughout your vehicle. Oxygen sensors, mass airflow sensors, transmission temperature sensors, misfire monitors. Sometimes it really is just a loose gas cap. But other times it's an early warning for a catalytic converter on its way out, a misfire that's about to damage your engine, or a transmission running hotter than it should. According to AAA, ignoring warning lights is one of the leading causes of major breakdowns across the United States. The part that stings the most is this. Catching most of these issues early costs a few hundred. Letting them go can turn into several thousand. Most auto parts stores will scan your codes for free. There's no reason to drive blind. Act on the light early and you'll almost always come out ahead. And while we're talking about things drivers overlook every single day, this next mistake is damaging transmissions quietly all over the country. Mistake number 9. Skipping the parking brake. Sliding into park and walking away might feel normal, but what's actually holding your car in place is a tiny steel hook inside the transmission called a parking pawl. It's no bigger than a pinky finger, yet it's clamping down on over 3,000 pounds of rolling metal. On even a slight hill, the full weight loads that tiny tooth, and over time, it starts to crack and wear. That little jolt you feel when releasing the brake on an incline, that's the pawl slamming into gear. Do it enough times and eventually it snaps. When it does, your car can roll away or leave you with a $1,500 to $4,000 repair job because the debris from that broken tooth circulates inside the transmission. The fix is stupidly simple. Foot on the brake, shift to neutral, engage the parking brake, then put it in park. That shifts the weight onto the brakes, not the transmission. Make it a habit, just like buckling up. Because one lazy parking job can quietly ruin your entire gearbox. That was a $4,000 mistake you can avoid with your foot. Mistake number 8. Not replacing worn wiper blades. This one doesn't get talked about enough because it feels minor, right up until you're driving in a heavy rainstorm at 65 miles an hour and your wipers are smearing more than they're clearing. Wiper blades are made of rubber and rubber degrades. Sun exposure, heat, ice, and general wear break down the blade edge over time. Most drivers wait until the wipers are completely falling apart before replacing them. By then, they've already been driving with compromised visibility for months. Streaking, skipping, and chattering are all signs the blades are past their prime. In most parts of the U.S., wipers should be replaced every 6 to 12 months, depending on your climate. Desert heat destroys them faster. Winter ice tears at the rubber edge every time you use them. A fresh set of quality wiper blades costs between $20 and $40 and takes 5 minutes to install. That's one of the cheapest safety upgrades you can make to any vehicle. Mistake number 7. Resting your hand on the gear lever. It feels harmless, even comfortable, especially without an armrest. Your arm gets tired, so you naturally rest it there. That simple habit, however, transfers constant pressure inside the transmission. The gear lever is not a resting spot. Shift linkages carry every ounce of that force. Over time, tiny pressures cause uneven wear on internal parts. Misalignment develops slowly, affecting gear engagement precision. Shifts become rough, delayed, or unpredictable. Many drivers blame the transmission itself, not the habit. Even small vibrations amplify damage over days, weeks, and months. What seems minor now becomes costly repairs later. A misaligned linkage can cost over $1,500 to fix. There's another risk. One hand off the wheel reduces control. Reaction time drops during sudden stops or evasive maneuvers. Braking hard or swerving requires both hands fully on the wheel. Break the habit early. Keep both hands on the wheel ready and steady. Use the armrest if available. Your transmission and your reflexes will thank you later. Mistake number 6. Driving using 2 feet. Automatic cars are built for 1-foot driving only. Your right foot manages both gas and brakes smoothly. The left foot should always stay resting. Hovering it on the brakes causes silent damage. Even slight pressure drags the pads constantly. Brake pads wear out faster than expected. Rotors overheat without warning and fuel economy quietly drops every single drive. Worse, the car receives mixed signals when both feet are active. Accelerating and braking at the same time confuses the system. The transmission reacts by generating extra heat, making internal components wear prematurely. Reaction times slow dramatically under stress. Muscle memory breaks down during emergencies. Sudden stops or swerves feel harder to control. And in a split second, you might hit the wrong pedal. Modern safety systems rely on 1-foot input. Stability control expects clean signals. Brake assist assumes intentional braking. 2-foot driving undermines all these safeguards instantly. The fix is simple. Train your right foot only. Brakes last longer, shifts feel smoother, and fuel efficiency improves. Control and safety increase immediately with 1-foot discipline. Mistake number 5. Never shift modes while the car is moving. Shifting modes while your car is still moving can cause serious damage to your automatic transmission. Automatic transmissions are designed to engage specific gears depending on the selected mode. When you shift modes while the car is moving, the car's speed doesn't match up with the internal gear engagement, which creates a sudden mechanical shock. This puts excessive strain on the transmission system. The clutch packs or bands inside the transmission, which are responsible for engaging and disengaging gears, are especially vulnerable in this situation. Shifting while the car is moving forces these parts to work under extreme pressure, causing them to wear out faster and, in some cases, fail completely. The transmission fluid, which is crucial for smooth gear changes and cooling, also struggles to circulate properly under these conditions. This leads to overheating, reduced lubrication, and long-term damage to the internal parts. From a safety standpoint, changing gears suddenly can affect your control of the vehicle. For example, shifting into reverse while driving forward can lock the wheels, causing the car to skid or lose control. This puts you and other drivers at risk. To avoid these issues, always ensure your car is completely stopped before shifting between modes. This simple habit can save you from costly repairs and help keep you safe on the road. Mistake number 4. Flat towing an automatic with the engine off in neutral. Flat towing sounds simple. Just shift to neutral, hook it up behind your RV, and hit the road. But if your car has an automatic, that shortcut can quietly destroy the transmission. Here's why. Automatics rely on the engine running to move fluid through the system. If the engine's off, there's no circulation, so everything inside spins dry while you tow. Within minutes at highway speed, parts start overheating. You won't hear a bang or see smoke, but the damage is happening. By the time you feel a delayed shift or weird whining noise a few days later, it's already cooked. That's why Ford and Chrysler limit this kind of towing to under 50 miles, because they've seen what happens when people ignore it. If your car wasn't built to flat tow, use a dolly, a trailer, or a special pump to keep things moving. Otherwise, one shortcut on vacation can lead to a $6,000 repair, and you won't even know it until it's too late. And just when you think your car is safe because it's off, the next mistake proves that silence can be deadly. Mistake number 3. Letting the car overheat. Most people think overheating means steam from the hood or a red warning light. But in automatic cars, the real damage often happens long before any of that shows up. Your transmission fluid starts breaking down around 200 degrees. And modern cars, they can hit 240 degrees or more just crawling through summer traffic or towing uphill without a single warning light. Once that fluid overheats, it loses viscosity, pressure drops, and clutch packs start slipping microscopically. That creates even more heat, burning seals, glazing friction plates, and triggering a slow domino effect inside the transmission. Many drivers ignore the first signs like a burnt smell, soft shifts, or a slight delay going into drive until it all stacks up into a $5,000 rebuild. The scary part, most dashboards don't even show transmission temperature. So, if you're towing, stuck in gridlock, or notice your fluid getting dark early, It's time to add an auxiliary cooler, keep your radiator clean, and always pull over if you smell something burnt. One good habit, monitoring heat, can save your entire transmission from cooking itself silently, mile after mile. And if you think topping off is always safe, the next one might make you want to double-check what's actually sloshing around down there. Mistake number 2. Running with the wrong ATF level. Too much or too little transmission fluid can quietly wreck an automatic. Most drivers don't realize how sensitive these systems are. A half quart off in either direction is enough to start a chain reaction. Low fluid, the pump starts sucking air, pressure drops, clutches slip, and temperatures spike. High fluid, the gears whip it into foam, creating bubbles that collapse pressure just as badly. The scary part is it won't always show right away. You might just feel a slight flare in the RPMs on a shift or notice a burnt smell after a hill climb. By the time it gets to harsh shifts or a delay going into drive, the damage is already deep. Overfilled systems can even puke fluid from the vent or blow axle seals, and many drivers blame a bad gasket or aging transmission instead of the real cause. Always check fluid the right way, on level ground, at the correct temp, and never just top off for safety. In newer cars, that means using a scan tool or checking the fill plug, not just guessing. Because even small mistakes here don't stay small for long. Mistake number 1. Mixing or using the wrong ATF type. Most people think transmission fluid is one size fits all, but putting in the wrong kind is like pouring diesel into a gas car. It might drive fine at first, but the damage starts quietly. Modern transmissions are picky. Each one is designed to run on a very specific blend, right down to how slippery it is, how it handles heat, and how it protects tiny moving parts. Even one wrong quart. You might feel a weird shudder at 45 or notice your shifts getting rough. Then it gets worse. Burnt fluid, slipping gears, and one day no movement at all. The scariest part, most drivers never know what caused it. It happens at quick lube places, gas stations, even some dealerships. So, always check the right fluid type. It's usually on the dipstick or in your manual. Keep a bottle in your trunk just in case. A $15 top-off sounds harmless until it turns into a $6,000 repair. By then, there's no going back.